Okay, so I guess somebody said there's no reason to upload boring videos. Normally I would agree, but I'm going to be just basically I'm just starting here, and I'm going to get into a groove, and part of that, it's like when you're watching a streaming somebody streaming development, and they do something and they kind of mess up and they kind of trail off and they don't really pay attention to the video. They just do it. Uh, Except for I pre-recorded it, so I don't know if that means I'm supposed to um, not, you know, I'm not supposed to upload it because it's boring. But I will probably go through some more Armory tutorials. I'm gonna go through grease paint so I can get started sketching in grease paint. I In the meantime though, I think I should go back to working on story right now. And actually that's the kind of the good thing here about context switching and all that. So we're gonna pull this up here. Um, this is just some ideas here. So our main story is Henry's story. He needs to find out what's going on in the realm and to do it he needs some outside help from someone from our realm. Okay, so really what I should do is I should outline kind of in general what the events are. So should I do the full story? It's like I'm gonna do it in parts, chapters, or books, or whatever. Um, so maybe I should just make this the outline for the whole story, and then the splits that I make will be within that. So we're gonna go with the classical 3-act structure that you see on screenplays, and then this is where uh, I'll put in the plot points, and they're actually going to be the things that are kind of be the cutscenes. In fact, I had an idea where in between the plot points there are these small little points, and they would be stuff like NPC dialogue. They'd be little plot points, little points of story that are somehow told through the gameplay or through the game, not a long cutscene. So I still have to work that out, but right now, so okay, so Henry's goal. Let's just type Henry's goal is to uncover the mystery of what happened to Enchanted Lands. Okay, so that's his main goal. In fact, that's the kind of the goal of the whole story. But actually, partway through, you discover why the schools are closed, why the king is acting funny, why you figure out what happened to it, and then he's going to try to fix it. So let's say at the start, let's just go ahead and spell this kind of mystery out. So what does Henry uncover? What does Henry uncover? The king is a puppet king, and he's controlled by Max Millions, otherwise known as AKA Maximilian. I'm not sure if I want 1 or 2. Is that, I don't know, Maximilian Stone. Okay, we'll say it like that. So the King's Puppet King. My seat is sinking because I need a new chair. So, excuse me for a moment. Okay. All right, so his right hand woman, not his right hand man, his right hand woman is none other than Violet Moonshadow. Then the sorceress Violet Moonshadow, who was also the woman who stole half of his magic and gave it to Max. Okay. I don't know if I'll go anywhere with the giving the magic to Max or whatever. I might just say she stole half his magic, whatever. Maybe she grows in power. Maybe he grows in power. It doesn't really matter. The idea is that she took it, basically. Now they're supposed to be married, and then I was thinking of this thing where she's already married, so legally that's not legally binding. But I'm not sure if I want to. Maybe giving half your magic away is sort of like engagement ring. I don't know. If you're permanent, you get married. It's permanent. You know, you consummate the marriage, so to speak. By giving it, I'm not sure how it's going to shake out. I'll have to think about it and write it. Anyways, Violet Moonshadow, the King's Puppet King, controlled by Max. The Knights Academy is not accepting new squires or knights in training, and they are working with real weapons, because when you go on vacation in Enchanted Lands, you want to be a knight, you want to slay a dragon. Basically what you get is you get magical weapons that don't really hurt anything, and you don't get fried, or you don't get hurt for real by a dragon. There's also rumors that there were actually real dragons, so there's going to be real dragons, of course, but the ones that you encounter on the vacation, they're just like, it's like magic, right? It's basically an illusion, right? So when you train with you're training with magical weapons, you can't hurt anybody, but you go on this adventure where you hunt a dragon and you kill it, and and then you go home and it's a good vacation, right? Because you get to live out your fantasy of being a knight and fighting a dragon. Okay, but the Knights Academy is not accepting new squires or knights in training. They're working with real weapons because Max has plans on taking over all the realms that connect to Enchanted Lands. I should say that connect to the sunny Nexus of worlds. which is basically the idea here is now the Nexus isn't going to be a big deal. It's just more kind of a scaffolding for everything that goes on. So basically, the idea is the realms connect to the central hub, and there's nothing there, and eventually somebody, whoever, discovers the Nexus, and then they build their kingdom there, and it ends up turning into Enchanted Lands. It's a magic kingdom, and then that's later on when it turns into a tourist resort. So Max before had plans on what was I going to say? Because this is the bigger when okay, so I'm going to go to screenplay several times. I'm going to be talking about movies, right? Because movies are obviously a big influence. And I know this is a game, but it's still heavily influenced by movies and other games and books and all that stuff. So, in a screenplay, you're telling the story at the most important moment that it needs to be told at. You know, if you're, let's say, Star Wars, the original Star Wars, basically the point of the story is when the rebels have been pretty much I don't know if this is the actual story, but this is what I gathered from what I read and what I've seen over the years and stuff. But basically, the Rebel Alliance is about ready to be found out on their secret base, right? That's why Princess Leia puts the plans into R2D2, because Darth Vader is right on their tail. He finds them, with the plans, and she puts it into R2, and then the droids go down to Tatooine. And this is like the crucial moment. This is like if he gets a hold of those plans, it's over for the rebellion, right? So that's like the most important point in that story, not like the prequels, right? I mean, the prequels might be interesting, but the important thing here is the Rebel Alliance, because they could literally turn the tide here. This is like the most important point in the battle too, because they get the Death Star plans and they're going to blow up the Death Star, which is a super weapon, right? So when you're writing a screenplay, they say you need to write it at the most important moment in the story. And so I have a backstory a little bit, partially just developed because I had the story and I was just like, you know, why does the bad guy think he has a chance now? You know, he tried it before, it didn't work, right? He was banned, and so part of it was Henry's magic. So that so there was that. There was what else? The king, of course. And so basically, in this point in the story, the most important moment is when he decides he wants to open a large enough portal to march armies through. Before he wanted to have the small army. See, I don't remember exactly what I had for that, because I need to make this more important. It's important. It's more dangerous or more trouble, because this time he is going to build a machine that opens a portal to all the realms, whereas before he might have tried to take over. So basically, originally he wants to imbue non-magical people, like tourists and other realms that don't have magic, with magic, by experimenting on them, and then maybe he can control them, turn them into an army or something. So I still don't have that backing part, the backstory part. Even though the backstory isn't that important, it's still pretty important because you're going, well, this is bigger. This machine is bigger than what he did before. So what did he do before? Um, maybe he maybe he wanted to control, have a control, be able to control people magically. So maybe that was the deal, but he could only do it in small numbers. Well, this time he's going to bring in the big guns, and he's going to build this machine that opens this huge portals. Um, so maybe before he didn't have the ability to open huge portals. Maybe just the small ones, the personal ones, like when you go on a vacation. So this is the important point in the story, is that this time he's making sure that everything he has is covered. And I'll see if I can find my notes. Otherwise, I'll have to recreate it, and it's not going to be as cool as what I had thought up before. In any case, I guess in the next video, I will go more into the story here. So what does he uncover? He uncovers there's a reason the Wizard U is closed, because he doesn't want wizards messing with. Let's see. Wizard U is closed because he doesn't want any more wizards to gum up to sabotage his plans. Okay, and then we got Fairy God College, and we got Princess Prep, and Princess Prep. Princess Prep isn't quite as important to the story, at least right now. I might make it more important. There's a princess coming from her realm to speak to the graduates of Princess Prep, right? On how to be a princess and all this stuff. And then Max and his henchman, an evil gnome, kidnaps her because it said that her people can actually imbue non-magicals with magic ability. So he wants to capture her partly for that. He wants to know what makes them tick. And so Princess Prep is closed. And then Fairy God College is also closed, but it's a little bit different. It's not letting anybody... How did that work? It didn't let anybody leave that wanted to leave. It wasn't accepting new members. I can't remember. I mean, I had this whole plan with all these different deals and stuff, but maybe I didn't think that through, and so maybe I'll have a chance to rewrite it. So, anyways, in the next one, I'll see if we can come up with some concrete points of what Henry does. So, see you next time.